Determine the desired rail placement and snap a chalk line onto the mounting surface to ensure that all posts are aligned properly. Beneath all post locations, install at least two 2-inch by 8-inch blocks using at least 3 number 10 by 3.5-inch deck screws penetrating through the joists at least 1.5 inches into the blocks. Plumb and level the posts using leveling shims. Tighten bolts. Install base trim sections around post. Insert the plastic attachment plugs into the holes on the underside of the trim ring half. Place trim ring halves on the post base plate and push together. Open the paper bracket mounting template, align base trim with the appropriate guide on template, and secure template in place using tape. Pre-drill through the top bracket holes only using a 1/8 inch drill bit. Remove template. The corner post includes an insert used to guide the cables along the 90-degree turn. This must be inserted on the inside corner of the post before bracket installation. Secure brackets with 4 number 10 by 1.5 inch square drive panhead screws. Measure the distance between inside of posts and subtract 1/2 inch. Insert top beam inside top rail and ensure the ends are aligned. Cut top beam and top rail to length using a carbide tip blade of at least 60 teeth. Press the top rail end covers onto the top rail and set in place on the brackets attached to the post. Using the holes in the bracket as a guide, pre-drill 2 1/8 inch holes from under the bottom of the beam up through the top rail. Apply downward pressure on the top rail to keep it in place. Maintain downward pressure and drive 2 1 5/8 inch screws up through the hole, locking the bracket, beam, and top rail together, being careful not to drill through the top of the top rail. Attach support feet to mid-rail support using 4 number 10 by 1 inch self-drilling sheet metal screws. Align mid-rail support in the center of your cable span and pre-drill with a 1/8 inch drill bit. Attach mid-rail support to top rail by screwing through top beam and top rail using 2 number 10 1 3/4 inch Phillips drive self-drilling screws. Check for plumb, then attach base to deck surface using 2 number 10 by 1.5 inch screws. Repeat this for all level sections on job before installing cable. Install the threaded stud end first. Feed the cable and stud through the end post. Next, insert the plastic stud bushing into the pre-drilled hole in the post. Slide the stainless steel washer onto the threaded stud and start the brass lock nut onto the threads as far as possible by hand. Feed the bare end of the cable through all intermediate posts and cable braces and through the end post where you will be installing the pull lock fitting. Note, lacing needles for both corner as well as mid and end posts are sold separately. These tools are recommended to simplify threading cables through all posts. For corner applications, we recommend pulling a maximum of 40 feet of cable through a maximum of 2 corners to achieve the proper tension. Slip the Delrin washer over the body of the pull lock fitting. Rotate the pull lock fitting clockwise as you push it onto the cable. Push the pull lock fitting along the cable and firmly into the hole in your post. While holding the pull lock fitting against the end post, pull the bare end of the cable to remove as much slack in the cable as possible. Return to the threaded stud end post. Insert a 1/8 inch hex wrench into broached opening on the tip of the stud. Tighten the lock nut with a 7/16 inch wrench while holding the hex wrench to prevent the stud from turning. Tension all cables to desired amount in sequence, beginning with the center cables moving up and down toward the top and bottom. We recommend 225 pounds of tension. As you tension each cable, give it a sharp pull downward mid-span to help set the wedges, then retension as necessary in the same sequence. Here is our recommended tensioning sequence. When all of the cables are tight, cut off any exposed thread as near to the lock nut as possible by using a cutoff wheel or hacksaw. Twist the cap over the lock nut. Return to the swageless terminal. Cut the cable flush with the hole in the back of the fitting using a cutoff wheel. Twist the cap onto the lip of the pull lock fitting. Complete your installation by installing post caps.